So this is one of those products that most people never really think about until they absolutely need it. It's an HDMI to DVI adapter cable pack. Not flashy, not exciting on the surface. But if you've ever tried to connect a modern laptop, PC, or console to an older monitor or projector, you already know how important these little cables actually are. And today, I've been testing a full pack of these bi-directional HDMI-A to DVI adapters to see if they're actually worth using in real setups or they're just another cheap accessory that looks good on paper. First impressions are pretty straightforward. You're not getting anything fancy here. It's a simple black cable design, gold-plated connectors, and a fairly standard 3-foot length. The kind of thing you'd throw behind a desk and forget about completely. But that's kind of the point. With adapters like this, the real question is never how they look, it's whether they actually work consistently. So I started with a basic desktop setup. Standard PC, older DVI monitor running at 1080p. Plugged it in, no drivers, no setup, nothing complicated. And immediately that's a good sign. It just works. You get instant signal output, and the display locks in without flickering or handshake issues. That's something a lot of cheap adapters actually struggle with. You'll often get random black screens, resolution drops, or unstable refresh rates. But here, at least in initial testing, the signal stayed stable. Then I moved it over to a laptop setup. Same thing. HDMI out to a DVI monitor. Plug and play. Again, no issues getting 1080p output. Now, one thing worth pointing out is that DVI is strictly video, so you're not getting any audio through this connection. That's not a flaw in the cable. That's just how the standard works. But it's still something people forget when building setups like this. In terms of build quality, these cables feel very budget but functional. The connectors are solid enough. The strain relief is decent, and the gold plating is there mostly for corrosion resistance rather than any magical performance boost. Realistically, what matters most is internal shielding and signal integrity, and in short distance runs like this, it performs as expected. Now, where things get interesting is the fact that this is a multi-pack, and that changes the entire value proposition. Instead of treating this like a single premium cable you baby and reuse, this becomes more of a utility item. One stays at your desk, one goes into a travel bag, one gets used for a secondary monitor setup, and suddenly you're covered everywhere. That's actually where this kind of product makes the most sense, because nobody really buys HDMI to DVI cables for fun. You buy them when you need to connect things that weren't necessarily designed to work together in the first place. And in those situations, reliability matters way more than branding or aesthetics. I also tested slight movement stress, basically nudging the cable while it was running to see if there were any signal drops or flickering. And it held up fine. No random disconnects, no resolution resets. Which again, is what you want from something like this. But let's be real for a second. This is not a premium cable experience. There's no braided nylon, no ultra heavy-duty connectors, no over-engineered marketing features. It's a simple utility tool. And if you go into it expecting anything more than that, you're looking at the wrong category of product. The real win here is convenience and redundancy. Having multiple working adapters on hand eliminates that annoying situation where one cable disappears behind a desk and suddenly your whole setup is stuck. So the way I see it, this kind of pack fits into two types of users. One, people building budget PC or office setups where older monitors are still in rotation. And two, people who just want backup display cables ready without thinking about it. In both cases, it does exactly what it needs to do. No extra features, no complications, just stable 1080p video output over HDMI to DVI. So if you're planning a setup and you need that bridge between old and new display standards, this is one of those small accessories that quietly does its job in the background without drawing attention to itself. And honestly, that's probably the best thing you can say about it. If you want to buy this HDMI-A to DVI adapter cable pack, check the link provided in the description below.